this is the one. Oh, good time. Hey, Mr. Baker. Mr. Baker.
Yeah.
Smoke a butt.
The news outlets, typically the print media, where it's
Back in a second. I'm just because we don't have much time, so I'm getting 10 minutes to have a cigarette.
We are simply lowering the quorum so that people are comfortable to show up.
Here for Tactile Hive, and in this video I wanted to cover some of the common mistakes we see whenever we're attending classes out in different places and also in our classes. And the whole purpose of this video is to share these common mistakes that shooters have with their pistols so that it can save you some time, money, effort in your training, so that you can mistakes of others and you can excel faster, right? So now there's a lot more out there, but again, these are the top 5 that we've noticed. The first one is testing the stance, and that's having a straight body when you're shooting. Now, there's a time and place where you can have a stance and be straight up. And, for example, when you're shooting for precision at far distances, when steadiness is more important than stability, right? And that's something that it could be a topic for another video. But when you're standing straight, this can help you for the distances when you need to be steady, right, and take that shot. But when we're talking about practical shooting, and in most applications in self-defense, we're probably going to be shooting more than one shot, and you have to do so in a rapid manner. So in order to manage the recoil, you need to have a full center of gravity to actually combat that recoil. Now, one might say, okay, you don't really need to lean forward or have full center of gravity because when you're shooting a pistol, that's true. You can shoot a pistol or any gun for that matter standing straight, but is it optimal? Right? So we're talking about having the most optimal performance. So if you want to shoot fast and accurately, rapidly, all right, so multiple shots, you definitely need to have a full center of gravity, and we'll show you exactly what that looks at. So it's instead of having stance like this, right, where you're standing up straight, and you guys will notice it if you really do pay attention at the range, indoor range, outdoor range, the next class you take a look around. You might even see instructors doing this too. All right, and it could be maybe they're doing it on purpose, but maybe also there's some bad habits. It could be, right? So, but the main thing here is instead of standing up straight, you want to have a forward center of gravity. Now, there's more to it than just leaning forward, but for the sake of this video, just keep in mind that you do want to have that forward center of gravity rather than standing up straight. Let's see how it looks like standing up straight and having forward center of gravity. All right, so we're going to go live, and what I'm going to do is show you the difference between standing up upright and then shoot your pistol standing upright, no big deal. So I'm going to fire 3 to 5 shots, but I'm standing up straight here. So you'll see as I nail the target, but all of a sudden my shot starts going up high. Take a look at the bullet holes here. You'll see they're going up high because I'm beginning to lean back because of the recoil, right? So all of my shots are going to be less accurate and precise because I'm standing up straight. Right? Yes, I can nail the target, but it might not be up. Here I'm saying I'm standing with a good stance, forcing the gravity here. I'm going to do it again. That body is not moving back as much. Okay, and when it does, it goes right back to its original position. All right. So the second most common mistake I would say is not gripping the pistol high enough under the beaver tail or the tang of the pistol here. So a lot of shooters, they may grip it this way, and this is not going to be good to battle muzzle flip of the gun. So every time you shoot, right, recoil happens, slide cycles, and there's muzzle flip. Okay. Now when you have a low grip like this, right, with a lot of a gap here, what's going to happen is there's going to be more space. You want to get your grip nice and high, okay, up on the beaver tail, no space, okay, no space on both sides, and here you're going to have most optimal grip to battle muzzle flip in terms of positioning up your support hand and the level of your hand, okay, and typically this can happen where people just, maybe they haven't really practiced enough and their grip comes down, right? So what you want to do is when you are gripping your gun, really drive up underneath the beaver tail here so that you have good grip. And so I'm going to demonstrate the differences there because if you do have this grip with a space here, you will see a noticeable difference in the muzzle flip. And it's important to get high because when you control it better, you can get your sights on target faster. There'll be less muzzle flip, and you can get your sights on target faster so you can shoot faster, right? So let's take a look at how it looks, the differences between having a good grip up high and having low. All right, so load it here, and I'm going to show you what the gun does, the behavior of the gun. If I have a low grip here, just like this, I'm going to grip it here, but I'm low. There's a lot of space here for the beaver tail. Notice how that muzzle flip is really going up high and it's taking longer to get down on target. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is get it much higher with a proper grip, and notice there's going to be less motion here. Right? So that is the second most common mistake. Make sure you're getting really high on the beaver tail and the tang of your pistol. So the third most common mistake we see also, and this happens even if someone has
Where's rest my board members?
on their firing hand is actually down here. What happens is they try to grip the support hand over top of this thumb, and what that does is it prevents you from getting
I like Chuck's new background.
heel of your palm on the grip.
Oh, and he comes in like a ghost. Look at that. What's going on there? And we can't hear him talk because his mic's off.
I figured I'd screw it up. How do I get out of that?
No idea.
Quick, where's Timmy?
I don't know. He's not coming tonight. He got his second COVID shot and it knocked him the heck out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
There you go. All right. I was right clicking myself to find out.
Have you guys had your shots yet? Oh, you're a baby. How about you, baby?
I don't know. I've looked to find out how to get on there. I thought because I have diabetes, so I thought I was going to be able to be kind of not first in line, but definitely up there. I can't find an open appointment anywhere.
Let me tell you, we went to Gillette, right? You talk about smooth as clockwork. I mean,
I've heard.
you get your shot, make your next appointment, see you later.
That's
It
that's
is
what I've
smooth.
heard. But did you need an appointment to do it, or could you
Yeah,
just?
no, we got we lucked out. We called it a Sunday morning. They didn't have any appointments. They called us back the next day with appointments.
Who did you
And we had to
call?
wait 2 weeks. 211.
I asked I had a doctor's appointment last week, and I asked my doctor how to do this. You know what his answer was?
But
Oh, check CVS.com. That's what his answer was. This is my doctor, the one who's supposed to be taking care of me.
yeah, no, I'm telling you, Gillette is smooth as silk. My neighbor went to Fenway and he said it was a complete horror show.
Yeah.
My other friends had to go to the Reggie Lewis Center,
Yep.
and they said boom, boom, in and out.
Mhm.
Don't forget Chuck's in that over 75 club.
May you slide underneath the gasoline truck and drink your own blood.
I'm not that far.
Nice.
No, you're getting close, Bake. You can't be that far behind me,
Where's Mr. Galley?
even though you robbed the cradle.
Where's Mr. Galley? He always shows up late. Where is he?
Showing up late.
He's still got 5 minutes.
5 minutes. I got three. I got three here.
Oh, I just saw him.
There he is.
There we go. All right.
Hey, Steven, they threw you under the bus.
Oh. I stood up for you though.
I said, where's Mr. Galley? He's always late.
Yeah, you went under the bus, and new guy Baker wanted to represent you.
Oh, I was trying. This is early for me.
I know it's like it is early for you.
Oh,
You're here. That's all that matters.
punctuality is not my strong suit. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. We're all dealing with it at this point. I still got 3 minutes at this point.
Hey, question for you guys. Did you has anyone been down by Hingham Street by the new cannabis place?
Oh, I drive there every day.
You see the signs out front on Hingham
On
Street?
Hingham Street, yeah.
Oh, for Health Circle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. I honestly don't know if those are supposed to be up there or not.
No, I just kind of hope they're temporary with the new guys coming in.
Oh, I think they're going to be temporary regardless. But from what I understand, their marketing at this point is not so great.
Really?
Yeah, it's not so great. They wanted to start off with, and this is what they said. They said they were going to start off with a soft opening or something like that. Here's the problem: nobody knows that they're there because it's not someplace that you'd actually think about going to get anything on a retail, kind of. It's not like a convenience store. It's not right out in the open. It's not on a main drag someplace. So that's the issue that they're trying to contend with. But it is what it is.
Yeah, well, that's a bummer.
I don't think those flags out on Hingham Street are legal though.
No, I don't think that. Honestly, I don't think that they are. But again, I'm not the zoning enforcement officer, so I'm not going to say a word about it. But it is what it is.
He's mute.
There he goes. There he goes. He's unmuted.
I came in late. What's up?
We're wondering about those signs, the Health Circle signs.
I already talked to him about it.
Thank you. That's what I thought. Nip that in the bud. We like that.
I saw those for the first time today. I'm like, are those new?
I was waiting for them to wiggle like a car sign.
Yeah, I know exactly. I was just.
They could say, "Hey, it's our product,"
I was kind of put off by the one that they put on a pallet and leaned up against like a trash barrel or something.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, they did. They took a busted up pallet and they put it on there, and it was this little thing. It just didn't really look.
Well, there was a couple issues there, whether or not the state's allowing them
And I just
to
wanted to
have the writing and publish it the way that it's being advertised.
Yep.
And they are temporary signs. They need to be permitted if they are allowed.
Right.
They say they have one off the expressway, the exact same wording, and the state let them do it. If you can prove that to me, then come pull a temporary sign permit.
Take it.
And you can only do one. Or if you want to do two, you can do two for 60 days
Mhm.
or one for 120.
Mhm.
Hey, Tom,
All right.
Tom,
I
speaking
got-
of
Hey,
stuff-
hold on. I got 7:30. I got to start the meeting. I got to start a meeting. I'm calling the meeting to order. This is the beginning of the meeting, so I need to announce who on the board is attending remotely. We apparently are all attending remotely. So myself, Rob Rosa, Vice Chair Greg Tanzi. I got Chuck Hession. I got Robert Baker Sr. I've got Bob Baker as an alternate. I've got Stephen Galley as an alternate. And Tim Haynes is unfortunately, he's homesick. He can't attend tonight. So that's all the members of the board that are attending tonight's meeting remotely. Everybody should be aware that this meeting is being recorded by WRPS and will be available on YouTube soon after that. Let's see, where else are we? And right there, so let's see. I need a roll call. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I got a motion. Need a second?
I'll second.
I got a second. Roll call. Myself, yes. Mr. Tanzi,
Yes.
Mr. Hession,
Yes.
and Mr. Baker Senior, Mr. Baker Jr.
Yes.
All right, that's all the members. That's all the voting members at this point. All right, let me just get to one thing here, and I am, let's see, using a point of personal privilege. So the first thing I got to take care of is all my board members know at this point that we got an open meeting violation complaint at the last shingle mill meeting on March 2nd, 2021. I did not begin with identifying who of the board was attending remotely. Apparently that is a requirement now that we're doing everything remotely like this, and now that the town has adopted remote participation. So henceforth and going forward, I will be announcing to everybody who the who the attending members are, and all the voting board members and associate members that will be attending remotely. So board members are participating in a person to make sure that and it is a requirement to do so by law. I did that. So yes, it's by law that we have to do that. I have to do that. So that's what's going to happen. Not a big deal. Everybody okay with that? All my members?
Yep.
Yes. All right. So that takes care of that. All right. So here we go. Remotely conducted continuance public hearing on the amended petition filed under Chapter 40A submitted by Conrock LLC, care of Walter B. Sullivan, Sullivan and Comfort, PC 80 Washington Street, Building B, Suite 7, Norwell, Mass. 02061 for zoning variances pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 11 and subsection 415-89.1. And also 415-47A, plot and lot size, 415-47C, general size exclusive of land, subject to Rivers Protection Act, 415-48B, boundary line and internal street setbacks, 415-50D, land use density, and 415-52 required open space. The subject premises is located at 365 Concord Street, Rockland, Massachusetts, more specifically Rockland Assessors Map 62, lots 35, 36, 41, 42, 43, 44, and 46, and is located in the R1 residential zoning district. The owners of the property are Daniel Delpreet and Christine Delpreet, 365 Concord Street, Rockland, Mass, and Delpreet Realty Corp. The proposed project involves the construction of 40 market rate single-family homes that will be the subject of a further application to the Rockland Planning Board for a planned unit development. A copy of all application materials and plans and other documents may be accessed at the following link, www.rockland-mass.gov/zoning-board-appeals. Okay, so that's out of the way, and I received an email from Kayla. We are requesting good afternoon, Rob. We are requesting a continuance of the public hearing 316 for 30 days at this time and an extension of time for the ZBA to act until May 16th, 2021. Should you wish for a further extension to act, please feel free to give me a call. Please confirm granting of such continuance and extension of time for the ZBA to act. So they're applicant is asking for another continuance, and they're asking for another extension of time for the ZBA to act. 30 days. Kim, you available? Where are you?
Sorry. Hey,
What do we got for 30 days after? Something like,
April 20th or further than that?
they want 30. I'm willing
Which
to give them the 30. Was there anything else on that date?
Nope, not on the 20th.
Not on the 20th.
We have, the 6th is blocked.
Who was that? That was Shingle Mill?
Yep.
Yeah, just go to the 20th. I need a motion to, I need a motion.
Rob, who's voting on this?
That would be, I have that answer. Hold on. I have that answer. And voting members for 360 is myself, Chuck, Bob Baker Sr., and myself, Chuck, Bob Baker Sr., Tim, and Greg. So Tim's not here, but and again for four members, one of the four remaining members has to make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we continue to April 20th.
I'll second.
What time? 7:30?
7:30.
7:30? I got a motion. Need a second?
Second.
You can't second. You're not voting. Oh, no, no, you're not voting. No, you are voting.
Yes.
Yeah, you are voting. So
Yes,
I will accept your second, sir. I appreciate that. I got a motion and a second. Roll call. Myself, yes. Mr. Tanzi.
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior.
Yes.
Mr. Hessian.
Yes.
All right, that carries. Kim, can you do you have Kayla's email address?
Yep. You want me to email her? Let her know?
Yeah, if you can email her now, tomorrow, whatever it is, just so she knows that everything's cool.
Okay,
Tag me into that too, if you could.
sure.
I appreciate it.
Hey, Bob. This is Wayne Boyd over in Concord Street. I just have a quick question for you as just an FYI. If we submitted a letter back in the original meeting, that was to be read into the minutes of the hearing, do we have to resubmit that at all, or is this all?
At this point, I wouldn't. I'll be honest with you, sir. I wouldn't even worry about it. If they come back to us, because I'll be honest. I know how everybody feels about this. At this point, we have nothing to really even discuss.
Yeah.
We gave the applicant at the first meeting, we gave the applicant a boatload to think about. And
Okay.
at this point, we haven't seen hide nor hair of anything other than a request for continuance. And this is the third time, I think. No, this is the second or the third time.
Third.
This is two. This is the second request. This is the second request for a continuance. So at this point, I wouldn't worry about it. I'll tell you this though, just to be safe, because there's different protocols going on right now when it comes to how things get posted on the website. Please send it please send it again if you could to the zoning board web address. I will get that personally, and I will make sure that that's posted on the website, so at least the applicant can get a copy of it, because I don't know if the applicant ever got a copy of it. So that's something that I could add, that I would ask you to do, Mr. Boyd.
That's fine. That's good. Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem. All right, we hang out for 5 minutes.
Excuse me, Mr. Rosa.
Who's that?
Scott Crawford, Concord Street.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. What can I do for you, sir?
I'm not sure of the process that goes on between zoning and planning.
Yep.
But I received a certified letter from the planning board that the applicant is requesting a meeting with them on plans.
Yep.
And their plan is 19 houses.
And honestly, sir, at this point, we've seen nothing. I've only heard through the grapevine that that's kind of how it's going. But
Right.
other than that, nobody on the zoning board can comment on it at all.
Okay, well, is there typically a process, zoning to planning or planning to zoning before it moves along?
A PUD is a planned unit development that the planning board is the approving authority, is the permit granting authority for it.
Yeah.
At this point, it has nothing to do with zoning. If they have to come to us and request certain variances and certain permits or something like that, different story. But at this point, it's out of our hands.
So they're the first step. The planning board is the first step.
In this case, I'm going to say, I guess, because they came to us first. We told them what we were going to need to be able to make any kind of decision whatsoever. They've
Correct.
never come back to us again. So unfortunately, I wish I had more answers for you. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. Right now, if they're petitioning planning board, you will have to consult with the planning board, or you're going to have to talk to the planning board secretary to get any more information. Because unfortunately, we have none. We have absolutely none.
Can you understand the confusion though? The
yeah.
applicant has two different projects they're trying to approve, and
I believe me, I understand the confusion is honestly, where is confused as you are? Because again, if it's going to a different board and we're not getting anything from that, from that specific board, asking for our interpretation, then we really can't do anything. We can really only get involved if we're asked to get involved. And at this point, we have not been asked to get involved. And quite honestly, I don't want to be involved.
Right.
So
but I guess at what point do these continuances stop? Because we've been at this, what'd you say, 2 times? I think it's closer to 3 or 4. That it seems like it's wasting a lot of people's time.
Well,
they have the information, they can't get it together. Do they want what project are they looking to do?
At this point, they haven't withdrawn. I will be, again, we're sending out notification that the meeting has been continued. I will be reaching out to the applicant's attorney to kind of get a sense of what they're doing. Because if they ask for a 3rd continuance, we're not granting it. And I don't think that we can. That's too many continuances in a row. They got, as you said, everything has to be, they have to have it figured out by now. So that's really what it comes down to. So we have the continuance, and any other information you would have to contact the planning board, because we as the zoning board has no information whatsoever, other than the first set of plans that they gave us.
Right, and I requested the plans from the planning board that they submitted, and obviously it shows the 19 house lots, whereas you've asked for those house lots on your.
Sir, you're commenting on things that nobody on the zoning board has seen. I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it anymore. I am sorry, but
Understood.
I can't talk about it anymore.
All right, thank you.
No, thank you, Mr. Crawford. I do appreciate it. And I'm not trying to come off like a jerk. I apologize. I can't, nobody can comment on it at this point, because we know nothing of anything over what they've already shown us. So I got 1 minute here. I'll wait the 1 minute so we can get to 7:45. Where are you? Where are you? Right there. It's the longest 30 seconds of my life here. There we go. All right, 7:45. Here we go. Remotely conducted continuance public hearing on the application submitted by Leo D. Reardon Jennifer Sheelan, and or Article 15 Brewing LLC, 53 Franklin Avenue, Rockland, Mass. 02370, to allow the conversion of the warehouse gymnasium space, formerly Kathy Corrigan's building, into a production brewery with public accessible tap room for a malt beverage production operation, live music, and outdoor beer garden patio space in an access controlled area behind the building, and separately owned and permitted food trucks, caterers on, building separately owned and permitted food trucks / caterers on site weekly. The applicant, in addition to by right uses and accessory uses, is seeking a special permit as per 415-16.c9 to operate an eating or drinking tap room establishment where alcoholic beverages are served for on-premises consumption. The property is located in the I-2 Industrial Park zoning district at 406 VFW Park Drive, or VFW Drive rather, Rockland, Massachusetts, and further identified as lot 20-001 in the Rockland Assessors Map number 15. The owner of the property is John Tassinari Sr., 406 VFW Drive, LLC, 415 VFW Drive, Rockland, Mass. 02370. The applicant and all interested parties are advised to check the town website and the zoning board's webpage for additional information remotely and remote meeting details. A copy of the town of Rock. I'm not reading the rest of this. We're done. Okay. Who is here for the applicant? Who's going to take?
I am.
Lee Reardon, owner. All right, and that's Mr. Reardon.
That's me, sir. Yes, Lee
What's
Reardon.
going on, sir? How you doing?
Good, thank you.
I just want to remind everybody who's voting. Myself, Chuck, Mr. Baker Sr., Tim, who is not here, and Steve Galley. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thank you for submitting the plans at the 11th hour.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No one here has had a chance to review any of this. Not seriously. I'd like to pull the board at this point to see if anybody has actually reviewed any of this. I know I haven't. Mr. Tansey, have you been able to look at any of this?
No, I have not, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Baker Sr., have you been able to look at any of this seriously? I know you picked up your hard copy plans, but.
That's about all I did.
Okay. Mr. Hessian, have you looked at any of this?
Very vaguely, very
All
briefly.
right. I know Tim has not. My associate members, actually, Mr. Hessian was here. Mr. Baker, you are my member. You're not voting on this one. Mr. Baker Jr., have you looked at this at all?
I picked it up less than 2 hours ago from Town Hall, so other than it's the paper clip on the outside, I haven't seen anything.
Mr. Galley, have you had a chance to look at any of this?
No, not beyond printing.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it going. Mr. Rubel, have you had a chance to really delve into this?
Yes, I have, Mr. Chairman.
You have? Okay,
And what I'm looking at here is on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, which is called a narrative.
Okay.
That's not a narrative.
Okay.
Okay. A narrative, I need the ingresses, the egresses, the occupancy load, the inside of the building. This is not acceptable for my narrative. I don't know if it's going to affect you zoning wise, but before I can issue a license or a business certificate, I need a complete narrative.
Who prepared
Yes, sir, that was prepared by the site engineer. Actually prepared that narrative. We asked him to put that narrative together.
I'm sorry. To me, this ain't a narrative.
That's fine, sir. What I can do is also, we started to reach out to the fire protection company to also make sure that we had the fire protection plan as part of the narrative.
Yeah.
Prior to us applying, for the final permits and everything from you, we plan to have that entirely put together in a packet for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And also on the drawings, you've got a bare building with no walls up there, nothing. You did at this first meeting, you had a breakdown on the building with different walls up. That's got to be on egress travels. I need a complete narrative that was said at the last meeting.
Yes, sir. I was under the impression that when I apply for building permits and obviously the final permits from you, that we would have to submit normal architectural plans for the interior construction.
But also the complete narrative would have answered a lot of the zoning board's questions that night.
Right.
And I was just trying to get this to go a little bit smoother tonight with a complete narrative, but I didn't get it.
My suggestion would be, you've got a nice site plan put together. It would be nice to have an architectural set. Obviously, you've already got it. You've already got it. It would be nice to have that as a separate page. So everybody could see that. You can kind of dial into just the building. So when we're dealing with the site, we're looking at the site plans, but when we're dealing with just the interior traffic, you can just look at the building floor plan. So that would be a suggestion. Other than that, it would be a suggestion to comply with Mr. Rubel's request. He is right. That's something that while some of us may not understand it all, we rely on Mr. Rubel when it comes to this. So if he needs something, I need you to provide that.
Absolutely, sir. That we tried by reaching out to the engineer. We thought that they were going to provide that because obviously I'm not an engineer. I don't know the first thing about what goes in that. I know a fire protection plan is a fireman. I don't really know what a narrative consists of. So that's why we tasked them to do that. So I apologize for that not being.
No. You don't have to apologize anything. You hired professionals to do the work. So if there is a question, about that, I would suggest that you ask the engineer to, if there's any question as to what should go into the narrative, request that the engineer speak with Mr. Rubel. If Mr. Rubel's okay with that, getting a phone call from the engineer, have him talk to him directly, get right from the horse's mouth exactly what he wants in that narrative, and that'll help things go a lot smoother. The next thing that came into play, I talked to the acting sewer superintendent at this point, and again, I don't know what it all is. I know that there's some sort of way that you have to trap your liquid and solid waste before it goes into the sewer system, which by his explanation kind of sounded to me like a septic system prior to going into the sewer system. He said that if you're already established in Weymouth, even though you're dealing with the MWRA, you might have that on site already. So I would request that you would speak to the sewer commissioners and get an idea as to what they're going to require, because that's also going to affect the way that we look at it. I don't know what the system's composed of. I don't know what it's supposed to do other than trap solids and stuff before it goes into the municipal sewer system. But he said that is going to be required. So I would say talk to him on that. And I know that Pat Brennan hasn't had a chance to look at any of this. The other question is going back to Mr. Rubel. Are they going to have to go for site plan review on this? Because they are going to be making a few modifications to the site.
Yes, they'll be going to site plan.
All right, so site plan review is going to be required to take care of this. So what I'm trying to get you to a point at is making sure that you have everything that you need to get to and get through the planning board. Because again, they won't even entertain this until they get some sense from the zoning board as to whether we're going to allow the special permit or not. So here's what I'm going to say. My gut feeling is I would ask that you request a continuance hearing at this point, so that the board members can review all this, so that the review engineer, Pat Brennan from Amory, can review this. I would request that you get your engineer together with Tom Rubel and make that and get that narrative all taken care of, because at this point, we've already heard from you. We know what you want to do, and we like what you want. I like what you want to do. I think the idea is great. It just has to be done. It has to be done appropriately. And right now, nobody on this board, nobody that is really going to be able to tell you if you can or can't do that, and nobody that we're going to be able to rely on, or nobody that we rely on to tell us if this works or not, has reviewed anything. So unless you've got something new to add, like you want to do something else new, you know what I mean? The other thing that's not on the plan is a parking calculation. We need to know exactly how many parking spaces that you're gonna need, because obviously on the plan, now we see that somebody else is coming in the other side of the building. So unless and again, unless I missed something, which probably I did, because I only looked at it for like 10 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, if I may ask one other question?
Mr. Hessian, go for it.
What I was gonna be asking anyway was to make sure the fire department looks at it, because the way I saw the original layout, if parked cars were there, are they comfortable with accessing that rear of the building?
I hear you. These are things that I think need to be addressed before, before we go any further. Because if everything had been submitted kind of, I'm not going to say appropriately, that's not the right word, but if everything had been more of a complete standpoint from the beginning, these are the things we'd be talking about right now. But we still don't have any of that information to be able to talk about it. That's number one. Number two, nobody's reviewed it.
Is there
So-
someplace that I can get a complete list that outlines everything that the board might ask for, might need from me, so that when we come to these hearings, I feel like I'm unprepared, and it's unfortunate because I don't have the answers that you guys are looking for. And I feel like if I had at least a more complete, list going into zoning, knowing that you guys were going to need some of these items, I could have prepared them ahead of time. The site plan thing, we try to tackle that to the best of our ability. I apologize that it took obviously until the very last minute to get it in. I understand, you guys not having a chance to review that ahead of time. But as far as if we're going to be going for another continuance, I want to make sure that I have everything that you guys are going to ask for, so that I don't run into something like this where you guys feel like I'm not meeting your requirements. That's not my goal, to come here and try and slide one by or get away with
Absolutely.
something. I want to make sure I'm doing it right.
No,
But
we
I guess I need a little help from the board to make sure I am doing that right.
Well, you basically need to talk to every single department that is kind of going to be looking at this. You need to talk to sewer. You need to talk to water. You need to talk to, you're going to need to talk to the fire department. You're going to need to talk to the police department. Every single department that's going to have any say in this whatsoever. This is how it is for all permitting within the town. You need to be able to talk. This is where your professional comes in, and you ask him, who do I need to talk to? Is there anybody here from Grady? Is there anybody here from Grady Engineering?
There was supposed to be someone here from Grady.
Yep, I'm here. Bart
Oh, there we
Lipinski.
Mr. Lipinski, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Do you have a camera on so I can see who I'm talking to?
Yeah, let me. All right.
There we go. I see you. I need you to coach your applicant here. He has no idea how municipal permitting works. He needs to talk to every single department that's going to be looking at this. We need to be able to know that all the other departments are reasonably okay with this. We don't need permits from them, but we need to know that each department, fire, police, sewer, water, that they're all in harmony, and they're all looking at this saying, yeah, we like this. There're going to be some changes here or there, but we like what we see. That's kind of what needs to happen. And again, you're coming into this late. I know Grady is coming into this late. So, it's no bad feelings against anybody, but your applicant needs your help, or this applicant needs your help. So if that's a part of your contract with them, I think you need to expand on that, look at that, and kind of help him through this process. Because again, like I said, talking to the sewer, the acting sewer superintendent, he says that something's going to have to be put on site, that again, for lack of a better term or lack of better understanding, is basically a septic system.
No, it's a closed loop wastewater system.
All right, the closed loop
I can give
wastewater
the
system.
sewer department a list of information that I gave Mr. Reardon before.
Okay, so
I'll pass to them tomorrow.
while we don't have to have that completely designed, I know Pat Brennan is going to need that completely designed, because if he's doing, he's doing review for us. showing that you're going to have that on there works for, for me at least, it works. All right. Knowing that it's going to be on there and where it is and how it impacts the site, that's a good thing. I don't need to know how it works. I just need to know that it's there. When it comes to planning board, Pat Brennan's going to need to be able to review this, look at it and say, okay, yeah, that works. Saying a lot of this has to get to the point where it's an almost finished plan set. Again, we don't need to know how it works. We just need to know that it's planned to work. And from there, planning board's gonna have to review this anyway. So that's the way I feel it. That's my gut feeling about this at this point. And other than that, what I would say is, this is directed to you, Mr. Hessian. I would request that you recuse yourself from this meeting.
Okay.
They are going to have to come to the sewer department and deal with the sewer commissioners to some degree. And just to make sure that everything is done right and you know what I'm talking about.
Well understood.
I would request that you would recuse yourself from this.
I formally recuse myself from this vote.
Kim, you got that on record? Everybody got that on record? Good.
Yep.
Tony, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. I've got Mr. Hessian. He was a voting member on this. Can we get some, of the remaining members, can I bring somebody on to as a voting member? Because they've all been here throughout all the meetings thus far.
Do you need someone to get the numbers you need?
Let me double check this. I think if Mr. Hessian recuses himself, we're down to 4. I'd prefer 5 if we can do that. I like to have a full board voting. But I know it's not necessary, but I would like to have a full board if I can.
Sure.
So is that possible? Can I, let's see, Mr. Haynes is not here. Mr. Galley is voting. Mr. Baker Senior is voting. Can I get, can I say I'd like to have Greg Tanzi on voting on this?
Yeah, that's fine.
You okay with that, Mr. Tanzi?
Sure.
All right, you're taking Mr. Hessian's place on this. Kim, just make sure that's in the minutes and that I know that next time that it's myself, Mr. Tanzi, Mr. Baker Senior, Mr. Haynes, and Mr. Galley.
And Rob, when Mr. Hessian recuses himself, or he just did, that means he also has to leave this portion of the.
I did, Chuck.
Right now?
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, you gotta
nope.
go.
I can go watch a ball game. Guys, have
Done.
fun.
I appreciate it, Chuck. Thank you. All right, cool.
Couple of quick things
Yes, please, Mr. Baker.
on that system they may have to put in for the sewer department.
Yep.
We're gonna need to, we should know if the weight limit of trucks driving over that,
Mhm.
if it's gonna be if it's gonna be in ground for a weight limit, or how they're going to secure that so that the weight,
So the trucks can drive over it.
right?
Mr. Lipinski, you taking notes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we got that
The
taken.
other thing is, on sheet 3,
Mhm.
it says, for all electrical and lighting information, see plans entitled electrical site plan dated 2/18, prepared by South Shore Engineering Team, Inc.
I don't remember seeing that.
We don't have them.
Okay, so that
We're
needs
gonna
to.
have to
that
get
needs to
those.
come in.
So
Saying that
Couple of
myself.
other things that I noticed. The easement, the water line, I think it's a water line easement, is not shown on the plan. That's an easement over private property. That needs to be shown on a plan, on any existing conditions plan. And then the second thing that I noticed, the right of way, it's called out as a right of way coming off of Forest Street. I checked the record plan and I checked the deed for the property. It shows that little right of way as being a portion of this property. Does that ring any bells, Mr. Lipinski?
No, I'm gonna have to look into that.
Okay, you're the engineer. You're the engineer on this.
I'm the covering engineer.
Okay.
So I worked with yesterday getting this set together. So Yep, I'm taking down these notes now, and what we'll do is we'll get back with the team, make sure we get the required information figured out, plan figured out, and then next trip back we'll have everything hopefully in line and in order for the presentation.
No, I dig it. And a couple of other small things that as I'm looking at the plan, as the original plan that came to us showed, a portion of that entrance is over the property line. I see on the last page, you are showing that you're going to modify that entrance. We're going to need to know how wide that entrance is. Let's see, what else? Again, there hasn't been enough time to really go over this, to give you all of this information. But the only other thing that was in question, and I know a lot of the abutters are going to have this question. I see a dot line for the wetland. Was that actually located or was that digitized?
I didn't work on that part, but I can get that answer for us.
All right, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, looks like 7 wetlands flags would have been involved in this, and it doesn't feel right to me. So I'd like to at least know if that was a digitized wetland line or if that was actually a physically flagged and located wetland line. Like I said, I know some of the abutters are going to have issue with that. The site lighting was taken care of on that other plan. You're going to get us a copy of that other plan. And again, I mean, this is just from like a 10-minute review. This is just while I have the plan up on my screen while we're talking here. So there was not a lot of time to be able to review this. The other thing is, like I said, the parking calculations, we're going to need to see that. I've got a food truck parking space that's in a no parking zone that's right in front of the building. And I've got 3 parking spaces that are also right in front of the building. I've got parking spaces that are supposed to be removed and relocated. There's a lot of stuff on here that just doesn't really add up. So what I would request is that we look at a continuance. Because regardless of if we start talking about this 100%, you're still going to need a continuance anyway. So unless there's something new to add, other than the fact that this plan is also showing the proposed Patriots Athletic Club, then I think a continuance is in order at this point.
Rob,
Mr. Baker.
You were talking about the food truck where it's going to be parked.
Yep.
I think we should get something from the fire chief that says it's okay to park that thing there. It's that close to a building where they're running propane tanks.
See, again, this is where talking to the other departments in town before you come to anybody else is really gonna make a difference.
Unless he says okay, they can park there. There's no way we can let them park there.
Oh, I agree with you.
Without his okay.
Yep. And then another thing is, it was brought up at the last meeting that this right of way that comes off of Forest Street, the strip of land. At first, it was called an easement. I don't see that it's an easement except for the water that may be going over it. It is a right of way, and I see a gate at the end of that. I need to know if that gate is going to remain locked or what, because that's something that the residents on Forest Street weren't really thrilled about if that becomes open and access, direct access. So I kind of want to know what's going on with that, because there's not a lot shown. I just see some fence symbols and I see the word gate. So once all that gets discussed and all the other departments in town have had the ability to look at this and kind of give us an idea if they all think that it's going to work, it'll definitely help us make a decision as to whether whether the plan is going to work. The concept, I think everybody agrees that we want this in town. We want something like this in town. We encourage something like this in town. It just, again, it just has to be done right. Most specifically through the permitting process. And I hate to keep saying it. I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but it's just, it is what it is. So if, I think at this point we do need a continuance.
I understand what you're saying. I just want to make mention of the fact that, you know, when it came into this, that we came from operating in the town of Weymouth, and it's not that I'm brand new to permitting. I went through permitting
I
the first time. So I just want to make note of the fact that the permitting process so far for the town of Rockland is completely different from what I was prepared for. So again, it's not that I came in here completely unaware, like no clue how to do municipal permitting, as you said. I have done municipal permitting. I just haven't done it in Rockland. So this is just a new experience. So I'm trying to take as many notes as I can so we do this right for you in the future.
No, I absolutely understand it. I appreciate it. And I thank you for doing that. All right. If that is the case, then are you
request a continuance then, please, sir?
All right. Kim, what do we got for dates?
Are you looking?
I'll tell you what, do the 20th.
April 20th?
Yeah. If Mr. Lipinski, do you think that 30 days is going to work for you guys?
That should be enough time, yes.
Okay. So we're gonna,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Baker Senior, yes, sir, or Mr. Baker Junior.
And I recognize I'm not a voting member on this, but one of the things I would ask my colleagues to consider in establishing the continuance date is perhaps establishing a separate deadline for or for the applicant and his engineer to submit any documentation to us, just so we don't get stuck the next time in what we have had tonight. And I'm thinking maybe something along the lines of 5 days prior to the hearing.
I hear you. The problem with I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. The problem that I've seen is that if we do 30 days out and we require all the documents in 5 days, let's say 5 days prior to the meeting, that basically takes a week out of the 30 days that the applicant's engineer has to prep all this. There's a lot of information that he's got to put together. There's a lot of departments that they have to contact. I can't say that they're going to be able to contact these departments and get answers that very same day. So this is why I return back to Mr. Lipinski and say, is 30 days going to be enough for this?
I think so. Yeah.
You feel that it's going to be enough? All right. And then if we say that we need, if we're going to do the 20th, let me just get this back up. If we're going to do if we're going to say April 20th, you'll be able to, let's just say, can you get us all documentation that's needed, including the narrative, including the architectural layout plan? I'll give you the week prior. Can you get it to us the 13th?
If that's what it is, that's what we'll do. We're going to shoot for the 13th.
I know the reputation of Grady Engineering. I know that. So I know you guys will work your butts off to make that happen. I would entertain a motion from one of my voting members, Mr. Tanzi. Is that you? Did I hear you?
Yes.
And what are you yesing to?
You wanted to entertain a motion
to
continue.
To what date?
The 20th of April.
And what time?
7:30.
Okay, I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got a second from Mr. Baker Senior. Roll call. Myself, yes. Mr. Tanzi?
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior?
Yes.
Mr. Galley?
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Haynes is absent at this time. So it's a 4-member, it's continued. So at this point, we have the continuance, we have the date, everybody's happy with it. Mr. Lipinski, I offer you this. If you need any help, if you need anything whatsoever, talk to Rick, talk to Kevin. They have my email address. If it comes down to it, have them get in touch with me, and I'll go over specifically everything else that we need.
Will do. Thank you.
sir. Everybody's all set. I look forward to seeing everybody on the next meeting, which I think is the 6th. So, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
All
it.
right. Thank you,
Thank
everybody. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Motion to adjourn.
Did you have to do like a motion to adjourn the meeting?
He didn't do it.
All right, well, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You only got 2 members left.
Is that legal? Is that covered?
I can't vote on it.
You can vote, Rob,
He wouldn't let me the last time.
to adjourn.
He
No,
wouldn't
in
allow
that
my
case-
participation in the vote to adjourn a meeting that I wasn't part of or a voting member on.
That was me he was saying too. Not you, Rob.
Oh, okay.
It was me, not
All
you.
right.
The last
Um,
time. You as a full member have the,
Okay,
you can
so
vote.
Right, hold on.
so is there a motion then?
Hold on, guys. Hey, Rob. We never made a motion and voted to adjourn that last meeting. So Bob Baker, Senior and Junior, and myself and Steve Galley are still here. Why don't
And
you
Kim.
pop on? We'll take a roll call. Yeah. Okay. He's coming back on, guys.
Yeah, I'm getting emails now. I'm getting text messages that we didn't vote to adjourn.
Oh, we have to stay here forever.
One eight, yeah, and the passcode 658109. Kim, yeah. There you are. I can see you. All right.
You muted, Rob.
Rob, you're muted.
Mr. Baker, Mr. Baker Senior, you're supposed to catch me on these things, remember?
You left too quick.
I know, I left too quick. All
He was
right,
just
so
testing you to
Listen,
see
having
if
a
you were
nice
paying
day.
attention.
we're all here. I need a motion, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I need a second.
I
Second,
I got a second from Mr. Baker Jr. Roll call, Mr. Tanzi.
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Mr. Baker Senior. No, you're not
Yeah.
voting.
I can't vote.
No, you're not voting. All right.
Mr.
Tanzi is a
Baker
yes. I'm a yes.
Jr.
Mr. Baker Jr.
yes.
Yes. Mr. Galley.
Yes.
And Mr. Haynes is not available. Is Kim still here? Yes, Kim is still here. She was smart enough not to leave. All right, we're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.